Avoid everybody, Dr. Peter Glidden here. Today is Monday, June 17th, and I'm coming at you live. 866-582-9933. Give me a shout, 866-582-9933. That's toll free, right? 866-582-9933. And if you're listening to the podcast, want information about the health opportunity, the wealth opportunity, 855-347-3696, which is, by the way, the same number to call if you're listening to the show and, want information about how to get the products at the wholesale price or just what we're doing here, right? 855-347-3696, 855-347-3696, and, of course, 24/7 on the World Wide Web. FireYourMDNow.com. That's FireYourMDNow.com. And remember, folks, we are international. This radio program is broadcast worldwide through the facility of the internets, the interwebs. We're all around the world. You want me to prove it? We're going to go over to Germany right now and talk to our favorite caller from Germany, Gottfried. Gottfried, you are live. Thanks for the call.
Hey, Doc. Thank you very much. I'm a bit worried. My downline as well. We have diabetic, as you know, yep. And the figures are not coming down. I in particular have sweat a lot in the night, whether in summer or winter. It doesn't matter. Is something to do with absorption, or I'm not absorbing very well because of this sweating?
Well, the only time that medical nutrition fails to work, especially when type 2 diabetes, when we're trying to optimize blood sugar, which is what we're doing here, right? You've been given a diagnosis of type 2 diabetes?
That's right.
Yeah. The only time that medical nutrition doesn't work when we're trying to optimize the structure and function of the blood, in this case, to optimize the body's metabolism of blood sugar, is if you're not taking enough of the appropriate supplements, or your body's not absorbing it, or you just haven't given it enough time to work, and there's too many variables there to predict. I mean, I saw some research years ago, this was years ago, man, when I was in medical school, that showed that different acupuncture treatments and different homeopathic treatments and different medical nutrition treatments had different response times depending on which latitude on the globe the person lived at and whether it was winter, spring, summer, or fall. That kind of blew my mind. So generally speaking, what we recommend for everybody, because remember, we're painting with a rather broad brush here, right? Our whole thing is generic, boilerplate, science-based, clinically verified health recovery protocols for the masses. And because this is a for the masses program, we generally don't get nervous about, lack of results until 90 days has gone by. 3 months, 90 days. So how long have you been doing the program?
This month.
I'm sorry?
I'll be 90 days next month on the 9th.
Okay, so you've got about 3 more weeks to go, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So and how much do you weigh, Gottfried?
184.
Okay, so in a perfect world, you would be doing 2 bottles of Sweeties a month. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, I'm doing everything. I've eliminated everything.
All right, good.
And my downline, too, is having the same problem.
Okay, and the Sweeties the only time, you just have to give this a little more time. Make sure that you're taking 12 Sweeties a day. One thing that you can do as an experiment, because the secret sauce here with blood sugar is the Sweeties. It's the vanadium and the chromium and 27 other minerals, more or less, that are in the Sweeties product. That is the secret sauce to optimize the function of blood sugar metabolism in the body. So, for 7 days, take 6 more Sweeties a day. Take 18 a day. Take 6 with breakfast, 6 with lunch, and 6 with dinner, and see if that doesn't accelerate a resolution of the problem. Again, Gottfried, the only time this doesn't work is if you're not absorbing it appropriately or you're not taking the appropriate dosage. And, if you're You saw my webinar on phytates, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So just, make sure that you're not eating a mineral inhibitor, a food that's high in phytates when you take the sweeties or when you take any of the supplements that have the minerals in them, the selenium, the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, or the white liquid calcium. So given the fact that you've got 3 weeks to go, I'm not going to worry about it at all. And if you want to attempt to accelerate the resolution of the problem, then add 6 more sweeties a day into the bargain and see what happens. Does that sound like a plan?
Do that.
Okay.
So can I take the sweeties on empty stomach?
Yes, as long as, yes, you can. There's no harm and no foul doing that as long as you don't get an upset stomach. I can do that. Some people can't. So it really depends on kind of the sensitivity of your stomach. But as far as absorption and everything goes, that's not a problem. And if you do the sweeties or any of the other mineral supplements on an empty stomach and it makes you feel a little queasy, just, eat a couple of pieces of a carrot or maybe half of a banana or something that's low on the glycemic index scale just to put something in your stomach to settle it down. So add 6 more a day. Gottfried, add 6 more a day. And tell the people in your downline, make sure they're aware of all the gluten donors, right? Some people aren't aware that pasta has gluten in it, right? Some people still eating oatmeal, and it says gluten-free oatmeal right on the package, and they don't understand that even if it's gluten-free, they have to not eat it, and so forth and so on. So just double-check. I'll tell you what, I have never not seen this work with blood sugar. I've never not seen it work with blood sugar. 100% of the time in my clinical experience, this program ultimately optimizes someone's blood sugar metabolism. So just hang on in there, buddy. Time is your best friend, and up the ante with the sweeties.
Okay.
All right. All right, Godfrey, go get them over there in Germany. Thanks so much for the call. Going from Germany now to Hong Kong. How about this? From Germany to Hong Kong. Boy, are we live or what? Are we worldwide or what? Harminder calling in from Hong Kong. Harminder, you are live. Thanks for the call.
Hello, Dr. Glidden. Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah.
My wife just gave birth to our first child on Friday.
Congratulations. Did you name him Dr. Glidden?
We haven't named him yet, but we'll put that into the consideration.
Hey, by the way, Harminder, what time is it in Hong Kong?
4:14 in the morning.
4:14 a.m. This dedication, folks. You hearing this? 4:14 in the morning. Harminder drags himself out of bed so he can call in live here. Now, if that's not a testament, that's either a testament to one of two things, folks. That's a testament to the knowledge base that we bring to the table and or the complete ineffectiveness of conventional medicine worldwide. This is not just a U.S. and Canada phenomenon. Allopathic MD-directed pharmaceutical centrist medicine worldwide has nothing to offer unless it's acute trauma or some type of a surgical emergency, but I digress. So, Harminder, how can I help?
Just to add to that, though, the one advantage of being in Hong Kong is it's a real free market in the medical field.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
allopathic medicine, naturopathic medicine, Chinese medicine. It's all practiced here legally, lawfully, no problems.
And what about insurance? Is there a medical insurance thing in Hong Kong or not so much?
There is medical insurance, but most people don't opt for it. There's a 2-tier medical system here, public and private, and private's not, overtly expensive here. It's quite affordable, at least to the middle class.
Wow, that's fantastic. Wow, gotta love that. I guess Hong Kong should be on the docket for a visit. I did not know that. Thanks for the info, Harminder.
Oh, yeah, we'd love to see you down here sometime. So my question is, my wife opted for an epidural, and unfortunately I think the anesthesiast punctured the dura.
Yeah. Ouch.
And that's causing her major headaches and a stiff neck. And, it gets better when she actually goes to sleep, but with the baby and everything, she has to wake up every few hours.
Yeah, ouch.
And she can't, and every time she gets up, it's really bad. When she's lying down, it's not terrible, but, it's all the thing is bed rest painkillers, but she's on the Healthy Start Pack. What else can I give her maybe to speed up the recovery process?
Well, it would depend entirely on the presentation of the head pain, right? So I'm going to tell you something to do for 24 hours, and you can get your hands on it this morning when the markets open up. Give it to your wife today, and it's either going to work or it's not going to work. This is a homeopathic medicine. And homeopathy it's hit or miss. It can't hurt. It's inexpensive. And if we hit it, then it's a godsend. But if we miss, then we have to go back to the drawing board. So the name of the homeopathic, this is a homeopathic medicine I want you to try to find in Hong Kong. It's called belladonna. And I'll spell that for you. B like baby, E-L-L-A, D like David, O-N-N-A, belladonna. In the 200C or the 200CK strength would be preferable, 200C or 200CK. And the recommendation would be 2 pellets twice a day, 2 pellets orally twice a day, and 2 additional pellets every 15 minutes when she is experiencing the intensification of the headache. 2 pellets twice a day orally, and then 2 pellets additionally every 15 minutes when the headaches flare up. And if belladonna is a good fix for this, she'll experience a nice big positive change within the first, 5, 6, 7 hours of taking it. I mean, I've seen people get traction from nurse in the first 3 minutes of taking it. Now, if it fails, you have to ask her the nature of the headache. Like, what part of her body does she feel the pain in? Is it the front of her head, the back of her head, the sides of her head? What does the pain feel like? Does it feel like the head's being squeezed between a vise? Does it feel like the head's exploding? Does it feel like someone's hammering a nail into her head? We need to have a description of the quality of the pain. And lastly, but what makes the pain feel better and what makes the pain feel worse, like ice or heat or lying down or a dark room or moving around, whatever, all right? So if the belladonna doesn't work, call me back tomorrow with those details, and I'll attempt to dial it in. Thanks for the call, Harminder. We're up against a hard break. Ladies and gentlemen, 866-582-9933. Give me a call. Hey, who's that sneaking around the corner? It's your medical doctor. It's your MD. Being backed up by the pharmaceutical industry to the tune of $50,000 a year in free stuff. Every MD in the U.S. gets, on average, $50,000 a year per doctor per year in free stuff from the pharmaceutical industry by way of promoting the pharmaceutical industry's stuff. Now, there ought to be a law against that. The pharmaceutical industry gets to give the medical professionals $50,000, as much as they want, in free stuff, and yet it's illegal for you, citizen, to give a testimonial about health recovery with something other than a drug. And if you're not outraged, you're not paying attention. Now, what happens when you bring a broken system to bear, an outdated, old-fashioned, corrupt, monopolistic, Machiavellian, mediocre, old-fashioned, outdated, incompetent system of medicine to bear on human suffering? Well, guess what? The world goes bankrupt, chronic disease gets worse, and it becomes a runaway train. This just from Madrid. An alarming number of patients with heart disease or cardiovascular risk factors are being inappropriately prescribed non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs for rheumatoid arthritis, musculoskeletal diseases, and other chronic pain-related conditions, a new study suggests. These prescriptions are being made despite the well-known cardiovascular risks associated with non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. Quote, "The landscape has changed, and we now know that NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, increase the risk of death and myocardial infarction with both long and short-term use, said lead investigator Carl Orr, MD, from the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland, located in Dublin." He continues, "We have instituted new guidelines at our hospital, and we have substituted Paracetamol for non-steroidal anti-inflammatories, especially diclofenac, which is a different classification of pain medication, for patients with underlying inflammatory disorders. Oh, isn't that great? Speaking here at the European League Against Rheumatism, there is a ship of fools. Dr. Orr said that NSAID prescriptions are out of control. For patients with arthritis, it is preferable to target the underlying disease with disease-modifying anti-rheumatic drugs than to prescribe NSAIDs. Well, here's a better choice, Dr. Orr. Get to the root cause of the illness in the first place, support and promote the body's ability to fix itself, get the heck out of the way, and let the body fix itself. This is a perfect explanation of what I'm talking about all of the time, but here I want to get to the meat and potatoes of it. The cardiovascular risk of long-term non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug use have been well described, but it is less well known that even short-term use increases the risk for a heart attack and death. A heart attack and death. The new study includes 10,000 patients. That's a big data pool from a large primary care practice facility attached to a major university in Dublin. The study includes all patients older than 50 years, prescribed a number of different drugs. Investigators analyzed patient records for risk factors for heart disease, including hypertension, diabetes, previous heart attacks, and revascularization with stenting or surgery. The search identified 100 patients prescribed non-steroidal anti-inflammatories. A total of 36% had established heart disease or risk factors from cardiovascular disease. Indications for the prescriptions included blah, 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 blah. More than half were prescribed non-steroidal anti-inflammatories for a month or longer, and 15% were prescribed for a year or longer. Now, what would happen? What this means is you go to your medical doctor, whether you're in Dublin or whether you're in Canada or whether you're in the United States with arthritis or some type of rheumatoid problem. The doctor prescribes you a drug to manage the pain. It doesn't fix or cure the illness at all. It doesn't get to the root cause of the illness. It just manages the pain and the inflammation. And then that drug in a couple of years hurts your heart so much that you get a heart attack. You get a heart attack from the drug. Now, can you imagine what would happen if a chiropractor or a naturopath or a homeopath or an herbalist gave one patient one medicine that gave him a heart attack? We'd be pilloried in the town square, wouldn't we? It would be all over Time and Newsweek and USA Today. Oh, those holistic doctors, they're quacks. They have substandard training. But the MDs do it and they get a pass. And not only do they get a pass, but when one of their own stands up in front of them, what happens? Nothing. Because the pharmaceutical industry has everybody by the you-know-what. Fire your MD, stick around, and give me a call instead. Back. Good news, finally. We have some good news. By the way, again, 866-582-9933. If you'd like to call me and talk to me live today, 866-582-9933, or the podcast number, 855-347-3696. You're not going to believe this, but every once in a while, the researchers get it right. Meditation's anti-anxiety effects are visible on brain imaging. How about that? Individuals with no experience in meditation who participate in mindful meditation training sessions for as little as 4 days show changes in specific brain mechanisms which correlate with a reduction in anxiety, a new study shows. There's plenty of evidence that meditation can improve a host of issues, such as pain and thought cognitive function, and anxiety is perhaps at the top of the list, explained lead author Fidel Zidane, Ph.D., a postdoctoral research fellow in neurobiology and anatomy at Wake Forest School of Medicine in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. How about that? Go Carolina. But what we've been able to do now is correlate through imaging specific changes in brain regions that are related to anxiety, even in a cohort of people not suffering from anxiety or depression. How about that? These findings were published online in the the journal Social Cognitive and Affective Neuroscience. Social Cognitive and Affective Neuroscience. Gotta love those, gotta love those intellectuals. For the study, Dr. Zaidan and his colleagues recruited 15 healthy volunteers with normal levels of anxiety and no experience in meditation to participate in 4 20-minute training sessions to learn a technique called mindful meditation. Mindful meditation involves a focus on breathing and a conscious acknowledging of distracting thoughts and emotions, combined with the decision not to react to them. It's actually a very old, very easy, very effective form of meditation in the yogic tradition. This particular meditative technique is referred to as Shuddhi, S-H-U-D-D-H-I, Shuddhi. It's referred to as Shuddhi. You're trained to focus on keeping a very straight posture and the sensations of the rise and fall of your chest and abdomen as you breathe in. If your mind becomes distracted, you acknowledge the distraction, let the distraction go, and focus back on the breathing. You are, in a fashion, regulating your emotional responses. Before and after each meditation training session, the participants, who included graduate students and faculty, received brain activity imaging with pulsed arterial spin magnetic resonance imaging. How about that? They gave them before and after MRIs. How about that? I don't know if I'd let them do that to my brain, but that's what these guys did. The participants also were administered the State Anxiety Inventory, a 20-item subscale of the State Trait Anxiety Inventory, which is a test, right? It's a questionnaire. You fill it out. Do you want to kill your mother? Yes or no, right? While the participants reported meditation-related reductions in anxiety ratings by as much as 22%, which is a big deal, the MRIs showed anxiety relief to be associated with activation of a certain part of the brain, which show decreases in activity when anxiety is present. How about that? This part of the brain is also implicated in the alteration of contextual evaluation of affective processes, which is fancy schmancy doctor talk, for it helps you figure out how to respond to the stress of life. All right? In addition, reports of greater anxiety correlated with greater default-related activity, blah, 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 possibly reflecting inability to control self-referential thoughts, blah, blah, blah. It shows that mindful meditation of this sort can buffer anxiety. After just a brief training, you can reduce the ruminative thought process, which is your worry, basically your worry. Change your attention and change the context in how you respond to things. It's like, changing the way that you view the world. Now, this is fascinating. This is just meditation. No drugs, no vitamins, no minerals, no essential fatty acids, no amino acids, no nothing. No dietary change, just simple meditation. And it works fabulously. Because in point of fact, ladies and gentlemen, you are not your thoughts. You are not your thoughts. Thoughts come through the brain. You can generate thoughts. You can also receive the thoughts of those around you, which is why when you hang out in the city, you start to get a little crazy, because you're experiencing the thoughts of everybody around you. It's kind of like radio wave emissions, right? And this is also why people that are involved in meditation as a lifestyle, like yogis and spiritualists of every religion has spiritualists, people who are involved in deep prayer and meditation as a regular adjunct to their life, meditate in caves, or they meditate below the ground. They'll dig big holes in the ground and line them with rocks, or they meditate in the middle of the forest. The intention here is to block their mind from the thoughts of their fellow human beings living on the planet. And just like radio waves, the further you are away from somebody's head, the less intense their thought waves are, right? So meditation can go a long, long way towards helping the body-mind to stabilize its structure and function. You are not your thoughts. You exist as a separate and distinct entity. Whatever it was that existed before your body was born, and whatever it is that will persist after your body dies, is in fact you. And it is separate and distinct from your thoughts. Now, when most people have this experience, it's a remarkable breakthrough. It is a eureka experience in their life. It is a red letter day in their life. When people have the direct pragmatic experience that, holy smokes, I am separate and distinct from my thoughts, and I therefore have control and power over my thoughts, and I can make a difference in how I think and what I think, and I can start to engender a little bit of control. But like the fella said, there's an old, there's an old saw in the world of meditators, which goes, it is easier to control the wind and the seasons and the way that the earth and the planets move around the sun than it is to control your thoughts. So what we are attempting to do in a meditative discipline is not to control the thoughts, but to detach and let the thoughts go. And to ground your consciousness, to ground the center of your concentration in that part of your mind, that part of your body-mind, which is in fact separate and distinct from your thoughts. So in a meditative practice, we're not trying to control the thoughts, we're trying to release the thoughts and just let them go. And if you've never tried it, it's a fantastic experience. I got to tell you, I've been a meditator since I was 13 years old. I mean, God love my parents. I grew up on a very small island in Massachusetts, and 9,000 people, and back in the 70s, I was 13 years old, more or less. I decided to take a transcendental meditation course. My parents thought I was nuts, but I did it anyway, and they let me do it, and I still remember it to this day. And I've been a meditator ever since. Meditation is a vital part of my life. And when I don't meditate for 3 days in a row, I start to notice a difference. And when I don't meditate for 7 days in a row, other people start to notice a difference in me. It has a profound effect on the body-mind. And one of the simplest meditations is this mindfulness meditation technique where you simply sit upright in a chair, make sure your back is nice and straight and your feet are flat on the ground, and you just close your eyes and focus on your breathing. You try to feel the air coming in your nostrils, and then you try to feel the air going out of the nostrils. You feel your chest rise. You feel your chest fall. You're not trying to control the breath. You're just aware of the breath. And then, ultimately, you're going to start to think about something like dinner, or that phone call that you have to make, or that argument that you just had this morning, or what are you going to do about that parking ticket, or how am I going to pay my bills, or something. Some thought will intrude. And when that thought intrudes, you recognize the thought and you let it go, and you bring your focus back to your breathing. Now, this technique is like riding a bike. And when you can perfect this technique, and it's not that difficult to do, because all it requires is you let things go. You let things go. You let things go, and then you keep letting them go and focus back on the breathing. After a fashion, just like riding a bike, you will start to get the hang of this. And you will actually look forward to those 10 minutes twice a day, or those 20 minutes twice a day, or dare I say those 60 minutes twice a day, when you can retreat to your meditation chamber, let the world go, and ground yourself in the authentic part of your being which is separate and distinct from your thoughts. It is better than a vacation. Why is it better than a vacation? Because it doesn't cost anything, and it relaxes your body-mind, gives you control and a sense of being present to that reality which persists after death and which persisted before you were born. It's a very, very empowering experience. It takes a little bit of getting used to. There's a little bit of, you got to kind of get the hang of it, but really all that's involved is a simple mindfulness of the breath. And then every time a thought comes in, you let it go. Well, that's an interesting thought. I'm not going to think that one through. I'm just going to let it go and come back to the breath. Now, when you do this, there will come a time when all of a sudden your thoughts fade away and you have the distinct experience that you are in an infinitely large room, a very, very, very large room with so much space inside of your head, it is almost, you can't describe it. It's like trying to describe to somebody what a lemon tastes like. You can't do that. You can work around it, but you can never really tell somebody for sure what a lemon tastes like. They have to taste it for themselves. I'm telling you, folks, you are not your thoughts. And mindful meditation is an excellent adjunctive discipline to engage yourself in, to help yourself handle the stress of life. Because let's face it, life is a great big bowl of stress, isn't it? All kinds of stress. Emotional stress, financial stress, weather, aging, viruses, lions and tigers and bears, everything, right? Their life is a giant bowl of stress. A 10-minute vacation twice a day, grounding yourself in a mindful meditation discipline is just a fantastic thing. Which leads me to one of my most favorite sayings, right? Everybody's got sayings, right? Benjamin Franklin, early to bed and early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise, right? A penny saved is a penny earned. Well, one of my favorite sayings, I have two. The first one was taught to me by Sandy Ellsberg, and it goes like this. What other people think about you is none of your business. What other people think about you is none of your business. Think about that one for a while, and it's true. Because people have their own preconceived ideas about what's going on in the world, and someone's understanding of how you are is their thing. It's not your thing. It's colored by their prejudices and their, built-in filters. It has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you. What other people think about you is none of your business, number one. And number two, worry. Worry is meditation on what you do not want to happen. I mean, isn't that what worry is? You're concentrating and you're ruminating over all of the stuff that you don't want to happen. That's crazy, but we get into it all the time because we don't understand that we have power and control over the thoughts. Let them go, ladies and gentlemen. Let them go again. Let them go once more and hunt down the clear, open space inside of your body, mind. You are going to love how you feel. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. This is Monday, June 17th. We'll be back after these messages. Stick around. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Peter Glidden here, 866-582-9933, 866-582-9933. By the way, lest you misunderstand what I'm saying, meditation is a perfect adjunct to any spiritual dogma, any religious dogma. It doesn't matter if you're a Mormon, a born-again Christian, a Roman Catholic, a Baptist, a Buddhist, a Hindu. It doesn't matter, even if you're agnostic. It doesn't matter. Meditation is a perfect adjunct. It's an add-on to your particular faith. It doesn't detract from it. It adds on to it. As a matter of fact, the Roman Catholic Pope a couple of years ago, in one of his encyclicals, the papal encyclical is the Pope's message to the world. It's the Pope's message to the world. Well, a couple of years ago, the Roman Catholic Pope said, look, if you're a Catholic and you want to try yoga and meditation, it's a really great add-on to your faith. So don't be afraid of it, folks. If you're thinking it's going to go against the context of your religion, well, I doubt very much that it's going to. It's a mental, human exercise, the intention of which is to optimize your ability to use your central nervous system. It's like working a muscle. You go to the gym. You work out, your arms get bigger, your endurance gets better, your legs get stronger, your abdomen gets stronger, everything gets stronger because you're working the muscle. Well, when you meditate, you're doing exactly the same thing with your mind. And, I would rather be more in control of my mind than my body, but you get a 2-for-1 because of this concept called the body-mind, which is a very interesting thing to talk about, which the MDs do not talk about at all. The MDs do not talk about the whole body-mind concept whatsoever. They only talk about the stuff that they can measure, the stuff that they can see, the stuff that they can touch and feel, because they're rooted in a Newtonian physics view of the world, Going to Pennsylvania right now to talk to Laura. Hey, Laura, thanks for the call. You are live.
Hello. Yes. I'm calling because my brother has scardosis of the lungs, and he coughs sometimes, and if he gets sick, then sometimes, he really gets really sick, and he has breathing problems when he, when he's do too much physical activity.
Yeah.
Sort of breath.
Do they know what caused the sarcoidosis of the lungs? Do they have any idea what caused it? Did he live in a particular part of the country where that was prevalent, or don't they know?
No, but my guess is he works for the city, so he was putting down asphalt in the street, redoing the blacktop. So I think that chemicals, inhaling them chemicals for a certain amount of years, that's what I think.
Well, yeah, it's possible that was one of the contributing factors, but if that was the only contributing factor, then everybody that he worked with would have gotten sarcoidosis, right? I mean, I understand where you're coming from, right? So what do we do here? We're up against it, so we give him a therapeutic which supports and promotes the structure and function of his lungs. That's a really good thing to do. So number one, here's the recommendation. 1 healthy start pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month. 1 healthy start pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month. 1 bottle of selenium, S-E-L-E-N like Nancy, I-U-M. 1 bottle of selenium per 50 pounds of body weight per month. 1 bottle of EFA at the 180 count. 1 bottle of EFA at the 180 count per month. And 1 bottle of Ultimate Daily Capsules. 1 bottle of Ultimate Daily Capsules per month. I'll review that with you. That's 1 healthy start pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month. 1 bottle of selenium per 50 pounds of body weight per month. 1 bottle of Ultimate Daily Capsules per month. 1 bottle of Ultimate Daily Capsules per month. And 1 bottle of EFA. That's Edward Francis Albert, EFA, at the 180 count. In addition to this, Laura, he also needs to stop eating the 10 bad foods. There's 10 foods I don't even want him to look at, and that goes for you too and me and everybody else. To get the list of the 10 bad foods, log on to Fire Your MD Now. FireYourMDNow.com. FireYourMDNow.com, and sign up for my free newsletter. It's free. As soon as you sign up for that, we're going to give you the list of the good food, bad food. There's 10 foods on there I don't want anybody on the planet to eat. Have him take those nutritional supplements, clean up his diet, and call me back in 90 days with a report. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks so much for tuning in. The second hour is coming up after these messages. Stick around.